In fact, let's also bring on board then Naveen Kulkarni, Head of Research at Reliance Securities, to chat a little bit more about what to expect from Titan. And in particular, Naveen, what we're looking at in this quarter is the fact that the jewelry business is set to clock growth in high teens, but still could remain below the management guidance. What is your expectations on the jewelry business?
Titan typically comes out with a release about the quarterly performance. So the revenue numbers are already more or less known. So there might be 0.5% up or down compared to what we are expecting. So we are expecting an 18% growth in the jewelry business. So I don't think so the numbers might deviate much from that. The important factor and the most critical focus from the quarterly results will be on the margins for the jewelry business, right? So that is the key number to be looking out for in this quarterly numbers, because in the base quarter the margins were considerably high. Whether they are able to deliver on those margins and whether margins can stabilize or they can expand further is going to be the key number to watch out for in this quarter. Apart from that, the other segments are also doing reasonably well. The only factor will be on the growth in terms of profitability and the operating profit numbers.
Naveen, can I safely say that maybe not this quarter, but in the current quarter and in next 2 quarters, Titan will also feel the heat? You cannot have a situation where autos are slowing down, consumer discretionary is slowing down, people are not buying soap and shampoo, but they will continue to buy jewelry. It's not going to continue like this.
Yeah, that can very much happen, right? So because the whole slowdown in the consumption pack is not very clear, right? So till, let's say, mid-February things were not so bad, or things were reasonably okay. Post-February things started looking quite sluggish. How it has panned out and whether elections are cause for that, because there is no great historical precedence to support this, or whether there is a structural slowdown that we are witnessing in the consumption space, right? So those things we'll get clarity on that probably in another quarter or so, right? But as of now, if the slowdown is more structural in nature, then definitely Titan will also start feeling the heat probably in a quarter or so.
How much, I'm just using Titan as an example because it's a high P stock and it's been an outperforming stock. Do you think some of the consumer names now can easily get into both time correction and a serious price correction, because P multiples are elevated, you're buying them at the peak of P multiples, and if the slowdown happens, first the P multiples will get challenged and then the earnings number will start getting downgraded?
See, what generally happens with consumption stocks, or let's say the stocks which don't need much of capital to run their businesses, right? So unless and until there is a serious compression in margins, right? Let's say Hindustan Unilever is at 23% kind of an EBITDA margin, and if the margins were to start compressing quite a bit from the current levels, then we are going to see a serious compression in P. Otherwise, it's more likely to be a time correction where the stock might be sideways in a, let's say, plus to minus 5 to 6% kind of a zone. But because of, let's say, rising competitive intensity and slowdown where they are not able to take price hikes, and then the cost structure starts moving up and we start seeing compression in margins, that's when the P compression will actually happen. If that is not going to happen, the margins continue to be stable for the consumption and the consumer companies, we are more likely to see that the P will remain in a band. There may not be a significant P correction to say. That's what I believe at this point in time.
Naveen, great to have you on the show, and thanks much for your take on what to expect from Titan, which is going relatively tempered into its earnings.